My name is Nir Perry. I'm the CEO and founder of Cyberwrite. Cyberwrite provides brokers, underwriters, and catastrophe modelers with data and analytics to help enable the growth of the cyber insurance market. Today, we have with us Mr. Shay Simkin, who is the global chairman of Howden Cyber. Shay, thank you for joining us.
Hi Nir, good to see you. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm doing great. So Shay, can you tell the viewers a bit about your background and how long have you been in cyber insurance?
Yes, I've been in this business for a long time. I started my insurance career in 1986 and started doing
86, wow.
86 and started doing cyber in 96.
Wow.
So that's a cyber dinosaur. Ever since then, I've been doing cyber insurance, not just cyber insurance. In 2019, I started doing the cyber practice for Howden globally and growing the business all over the world. And today I'm the chairman of Howden Cyber. For people, when we will talk about Cyberwrite, by the way, one of the things that you and I talked a lot about is simple is beautiful.
Simplification.
And making simplification that our brokers like Cyberwrite because it's simple. And I think a year ago, when we sat down and started thinking about, okay, so how do we create growth engines? How do we tap into this SME, SMB market? We realized that we need to make things simple. And if we make things simple, people will start buying. We created a product called Cyber Plus, which you're part of Cyber Plus.
Yeah.
And Nir, you would not believe, but we have sold hundreds of policies in places that we would never believe that cyber would be sold, to companies with 10 people, 100 people, 150 people, hundreds of people. So now
Right.
We're tapping into a huge market by making it simple, easy, understandable. And believe me, in the next 2 to 3 years, every one of our clients around the world will have some kind of cyber insurance.
And a lot of people are saying, listen, cyber isn't a product that's being bought, it's a product that's being sold. Do you agree with this statement?
In many ways, yes. I think that we don't see people downstairs here lined up to buy any type of insurance.
Right.
Okay? Not life insurance, not property insurance, not even car insurance or how. Cyber is one of these products that I think people do understand that they need it, but they don't reach out and buy it. We need to sell it to them. You're right. We need to go out there. Our brokers and our people around the world, our 22,000 Howden employees need to offer the product to our clients, because one of the things that we have to understand is cyber is no longer a nice to have issue. It's a critical part of any business. We're running on technology today. Connectivity is the new oil as such, and if we don't have connectivity, we start losing business, we start losing brand, we start losing clients. So cyber is super important to everybody. They understand it, but it is very, very difficult for them to understand what they need to do, and they're looking at us as the insurance industry to help them to do it. That's why the tech industry and the insurance industry need to join hands and help clients reach the maturity level, the ability to buy the product.
Right, and I remember when we started Cyberwrite, we went to brokers and we went to insurers, and we saw that one of the discussions was that the customer is asking, well, why do I need cyber? And even if they are convinced, they ask, how much do I need to buy? And the brokers wouldn't know. And some of the brokers are saying, okay, you know what? Let's see how much industry peers are buying, but what if the industry peer is overinsured or it's underinsured? What if they have 1 million personal identifiable records while you only have 20,000, right? It's a completely different use case which you cannot see in the industry benchmark. And so when we started Cyber, we need to be able to tailor a financial estimation that the broker can understand and easily explain to insureds, that will tell them, hey, this is the probability of a breach and this is how much you're going to pay.
You're 100% right, because remember, one of the things that when we were talking to clients and selling them the product, they said, you know what, I understand, I need the product, I need cyber insurance. Now, how much do I need to buy? Contrary to this building where we can estimate, okay, the cost of the building, the place, whatever, in cyber, we didn't have any tool to quantify the risk. And so when we started talking, I said to Yunir, help us build something that when our people will go, they will have some kind of a tool to help quantify the risk and say to the client and start even the conversation. Look, we believe that you need to buy anything between 3 to 5 million. And because the second question was, what are the peers in the industry buying? Yeah, because the peers in the industry are buying between 3 to 5 or 5 to 10 or whatever. So it starts a good conversation of the broker and the client. It says to him, look, I think this is your exposure. One of the things I really liked about Cyberwrite when we started talking about is that it speaks the insurance language. So the breakdown that you see in the Cyberwrite report talks to the insurance people, but it also talks the language of the client. So you may have business interruption, and this is the amount. You may have third-party exposure. These are the things that we always wanted to talk to our clients and say, look, this is what we think the exposure is. This is the breakdown of the exposure. To be truthful, it's not always that they buy 100% of the risk, but it's a good start to talk with them. Add this also to the non-intrusive assessment, as we call it, so we can talk to them about, hey, you have some open ports here, you have some credentials in the darknet, you can clean this up. So we help them prepare for the underwriting. Exactly. I always say to people, we want to make you look like the best looking bride before you go to the underwriter. 100%. And Cyberwrite helps us because they're all using these types of tools today. Some of them are also using your tools, but other tools that are out in the market. But when we come to the underwriter, already with a client that we worked with him to close the open ports, to do the basic things that will make his maturity level higher, then he gets better premium, he gets better cover, better deductible, everybody is happy. It's a great thing, that good start and good talk with clients.
And so as we know, Howden knows everybody around the market, all the vendors. What were the main drivers, and what is the main problem that Cyberwrite is solving for Howden?
Yeah, so this is a very long, let's bear in mind, it's a very long relationship. When we started, not everybody was around. Now there are lots of vendors out there and everybody is doing the assessments or whatever. When we started, one of the things which I really liked is that you were coming out of an insurance family. We had some discussions. Broker. Exactly. We had some discussions and we talked about how do we help our brokers around the world sell cyber insurance. And when we started talking, we said one of the things that they're missing is a tool which is not coming only from a tech-oriented company, okay, because the rest of your competitors were coming out of technology, trying to make things a bit more difficult for people to understand, too techy, because I think that they were aiming for the CISO rather than the broker. And when we started working together, we said, you said to me, I think that you wanted to make something which will be easy and understandable, not just for the client, for the CISO and the tech people, but also for the broker. I think that was a key thing that when I look back at the relationship, and even today, when I look at you and the competitors, one of the best things that we see in Cyberwrite, it's not me, it's the 170 cyber champions around the world that wake up and sell insurance. They're
also providing those reports to the rest of the brokers when they go out.
Exactly, but some of them, bear in mind, need it in their own respective language, okay? And they need to be able to work through a conversation in their language, so they need the report not to be in English, and we translated it to
Spanish, French, Korean, Japanese, many other languages.
Whoever asked to be translated, we translated it.
To them, yeah. In the local currency as well, the calculations are done in
local currency.
With the Howden logo on the reports.
Howden logo, the breakdown, everything that we requested. And I will say that again, I think the winner in looking at the relationship over time is simple is beautiful.
And
the report is simple, easy to understand. I like the visuality of the report, because it's the breakdown in the insurance segment, easy to understand. All the broker needs is 1 or 2 pages. He takes it with him or has it in his computer. He starts talking to the client. He opens the computer. He asks him a question. They go through this. It's a good way to start a conversation and a good way for them also when they are asked by the CFO or they're asked by the board of directors or they're asked by management, why is 5 million the limit that you want to buy? You say, well, we have used Howden. They came with a report, and the report helped us decide that we will buy 5 million, and here is the report. So the report goes to the management, and it goes to the board, and it becomes part of the underwriting buying process.
Right. Then you can actually see, ransomware with a range of 1 to 2 million, third-party liability 3 to 5 million, etc., with a drill down to see what are the damages.
Exactly, and one of the things that we get comments from our people all over is that, for us in parts of the world, the privacy is not a big issue. Regulation is not as stringent as it is in the US. So when you say regulation, maybe I can buy a little less around third-party liability or whatever, and lower my exposure, where if I'm a US company, I will. So they take the breakdown, and then in the end, they decide what limit they want to buy. And the benchmarking is important because people want to understand and know that they're not buying less than what the market is buying and not more than what the market is buying. So they always like to be.
Right.
So my peers in the industry are all buying 10. Why should I buy 30?
Right. And I think one of the interesting feedback that we've been receiving throughout the years, again, we've launched together in 2019 with Howden, is that the report does not serve one stakeholder inside the organization. It can serve the CEO, the business owner, the CFO on the first page of the report where you see the potential economic damages, but also provides the technical information for the head of IT or the CISO if it exists for a small business. And there are also recommendations, and we also show them what kind of regulatory violations they may have, so they know that they are actually at risk, and give them the motivation to improve and to buy cyber insurance.
Yeah, and now, like we said, now that it's part of our tech offering, the Cyber Plus, and it has an API to Cyber Plus, we're basically running a report for every one of our clients. And we tell them, look, we're running the report, we will share the report with you, but we will also keep monitoring you in the darknet because you are Cyberwrite our client, and then if there's something comes up, we will alert you. So it's another added value which we bring to our clients together, working together. I think that's also part of the offering that we're very proud that we do together. Huge success.
Right, and we've integrated the Cyberwrite API in order to provide the report.
Cyberwrite is in there, and we create a report. Everything is on a digital platform. Every one of our brokers, but every one of our employees, in a couple of minutes can come into the client, up to 500 million of revenue, sit in front of the client and say, let me go into the system, and in a couple of minutes he has an offer and they can start talking, including the report.
And Shay, what do you think are some of the advantages that you've seen over the years with Cyberwrite that made you stick to the solution for so many years?
I think we've spoken over some of them, being the simple, easy to reach, languages, talking the insurance language, which is super important. One thing we didn't speak about is the fact that we need to have this report on demand. So the broker doesn't always know, in 3 weeks I will be in this and then, so I can ask Nir to generate a report and he will generate it in 3 weeks or whatever. I need to have it on demand. As we said, in Cyber Plus, we connected with an API into the system because one of the things that we want is the broker to have the report immediately as such, so we can get the report, get the price from Beasley and QBE, get Cyber Plus. Okay, I'm sending the client the deck, and then I'm picking up the phone and say, look at the report, we think this is what you need to do, this is how much damage we think you may have. So super important, not just for the large ones that they obviously understand and they may have the right people to talk about, not just the insurance part of it, but also the technical issues that you have in the larger reports that you produce.
Right, a small legal firm, a small accountant, an engineer that doesn't necessarily know that they want cyber, the broker can go on the field with the laptop, get their Cyberwrite report within 30 seconds and present them
Exactly.
the potential economic impact and the probability.
Exactly, and I think one of the things we like about it is that there's also a lot of data that we acquire when we run these reports. We've run thousands and thousands of reports. We have this database that we help us internally to understand better the size of the clients, how many employees, and build around the next generation of Cyber Plus out there. And I'm sure for you the data is something that you are always...
Right. And we see thousands of reports run through the platform by Howden a month. And I think the data is key not only to enable a specific organization where you say, okay, well, we found some passwords in the dark web, or we see you have some issues with your security, or maybe there has already been an event that we can see outside that the customer hasn't been aware of, which happens quite often. But also, one of the more interesting things, as you know, we've recently launched our catastrophe modeling value proposition, which we've talked about it last week at Monte Carlo, and we refer to it as the next generation, because the data that's being collected for each and every single risk, and it doesn't matter if it's a huge organization and a conglomerate or a cupcake factory out of Alabama, all of this data is being fed into the catastrophe models. And this type of data is used as affinities to understand some of the blind spots that insurance companies may have. Because what we see is that everybody is waiting for the big cyber event, and it's unclear when it's going to arrive. People are talking about, okay, there won't be internet access for a while, or there might be a huge breach exposing everybody's information. But what we actually see are the CrowdStrikes, or the CDKs, or the SharePoints, where you do have a systemic event, but it's more isolated.
Yeah.
And those things are actually impacting pricing, or they might impact pricing. They're impacting how the insurers are perceiving cyber insurance. They might impact how a board will treat cyber insurance. What do you, as Howden, conclude of data?
So, first of all, we're lucky to have Howden Re as part of the Howden Group. Howden Re, that's exactly what they're doing. They are looking at ways where, reinsurance market is growing, how the reinsurance market can support the insurance market, and looking at what is the Cybergeddon scenarios.
Right.
And they're the ones that are, of course, using these type of tools. We're less exposed to these type of tools. I know that they're using these tools now, but I think generally speaking, the more data we have, and now with AI and our ability to cut into the data and see much clearer things that we didn't see before, if we have good data and clear data, it will help us not just communicate it to the market, but also to grow the market. And that's what everybody is talking. The potential is 100% there. Everybody understands that there is a potential. We need data to support the growth. And once we are more relaxed about, okay, these are the scenarios that we've seen, this is the potential scenarios, I think that we will see the market go much faster, and we will see a lot of external money pouring into the cyber insurance market as well, not just the money that we have here.
I think everybody, including here in the office and also the viewers, are rooting for the cyber insurance to get to the 50 billion and beyond in annual premiums, and I think definitely Howden's work is pushing the market in Europe and around the world to get there. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us and talk about your experience with Cyberwrite. It's been a great experience, and I wish you a happy Rosh Hashanah.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you, and let's continue to work together and grow this amazing product, and then meet here in as often as we can.
Very good. Thank you so much, Shay. Thank you so much.